Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Learn with Jason. Today on the show, we've got Daniel Kim. Daniel, how you doing?
I am doing fabulous. How about you?
I am doing great. A little bit of technical difficulties there, getting us started late, but still feeling good. I think we're gonna have a great time today, and I'm excited to talk about the subject at hand today. But first, before we even dive into what it is, let's talk a little bit about you. So, for folks who aren't familiar with your work, do you want to give us a bit of a background on who you are, what you do?
Yeah, so my name is Daniel. I work as a developer advocate at New Relic. And yeah, I actually came from a Next.js kind of startup before I joined New Relic. So I feel like I'm going back home with this stream. So I'm very excited. But at New Relic, I actually don't focus on browser or synthetics or anything like that. I focus on our Kubernetes experience
Okay.
and how we support our cloud native developers. But today, for this very special stream, I get to jam out on front end. So I am extremely excited. And yeah, I love doing fun, weird projects. That's my specialty. And I'm so excited to do a food-based project with you, Jason, because I love food. That's why I live, and work is for food. So I'm very
Very,
excited.
very much agreed. I feel like yeah, people are like, "Why do you travel?" I'm like, "Well, I only go to cities where the food is good."
Yeah, I want to try every kind of barbecue, every kind of dumpling, every kind of
Yes.
noodle. That's why I
Ah,
like to travel. Yeah, for sure.
I have publicly stated that I would happily become a dumpetarian if I could. But I
Yeah,
think I
yesterday actually I hosted a meetup in San Francisco called Devs and Dumps, where we ordered
what
1,000 dumplings, and then it
what
was like 80% gone in like a couple of hours. It was amazing the rate at which dumplings were consumed at that meetup. Because I was like, oh my gosh, we ordered way too much food because we had trays and trays and trays of dumplings, and most of it was gone by the end of the night. So there's a
you know
huge appetite for dumplings for sure.
I had a dream where I was surrounded by trays and trays of dumplings. I feel like you may have put together one of my fantasies, actually.
Yeah, it was a fantasy of mine for sure, because it has always been a dream of mine to be surrounded, like just on all 360 degrees with dumplings. And every
Yeah.
different type of dumpling too. It was
Like I'm
great.
looking for like a Studio Ghibli like food scene of like just like leaning towers of dumplings all around me. Yes, that's exactly what I want. Okay. All right. Oh, we could talk about this all day, but we should probably talk about something else. So
Yeah. Sorry, I get real passionate about food. Like it's a major driver for me. But yeah.
Absolutely. So, speaking of which, let's talk a little bit about what we're going to do today. Actually, I mean, it's going to, okay, stick with us, chat, because it's going to take us a second to get to why this is about food. So, first and foremost, we're going to be working today with Next.js. And more specifically, we want to start playing with some of the ways that Next.js can handle location based stuff. And then locate like so there's a lot of cool stuff in this middleware where you can determine where somebody's requesting the site from and then make some alterations to what the site does, and you can also like redirect them to different versions of the page. But what's really interesting about it is like it poses some challenge that I never had to think about before, such as when I have said that everybody in, I don't know, Denver, Colorado needs to see a different version of a site. How do I verify that it's working? Right? Because I'm in Portland. So if I'm attempting to troll my friends, I can like set the location to Portland and then see that it works, but I can't like I don't have time to go to Denver and load the site and make sure that it works. And if I was targeting multiple locations, how do I, what do I do to solve that? And it sounds like you have a potential solution for us today.
Yeah, like for the first time ever, enterprise software has a solution for us regular developers. That should be a soundbite.
Chris, you know what to do. Chris is the editor for
Yeah,
the show.
yeah. For our normies, so basically, synthetic monitoring as a concept has been around for quite a while, honestly, and it's basically a way that mostly backend developers use to test that their systems are working operationally. But now synthetic monitoring can be used for front-end websites. So it can automatically send a robot or a script to your website from any location that you can dream of. Or you can spin a location up of your own. So you could theoretically set one up from Antarctica if you wanted.
Okay.
And basically, you can have a script test your website or your system as if it was an actual, like, real life person or machine from a particular location. So you could actually like have a script from Denver, Colorado,
Okay.
try out like the workflow from your entire website, like clicking around and seeing, validating that certain things work is displaying what you want it to display. So you don't
Mm.
actually have to physically travel to Denver, Colorado to test that your website works.
That's great because the horse at that airport freaks me out.
Oh yeah, that airport has a lot of conspiracy theories
It
around it,
really does.
so it scares me.
Chat, if you've never gone down the rabbit hole of DIA conspiracy theories, you should definitely do it because it's weird, it's dark, it's amazing. There's a demon horse.
Yeah, the tents like freak me out. I've only been there once, and I try not to connect through Denver anymore.
Yeah.
Let's just say that.
I imagine that was the exact opposite impact they were trying to have when they designed that airport, but hey, you know, it works. Okay, so if I am building an app and that app relies on location, if I want to test that app from any location to validate that what I'm building actually works when somebody from the location I'm targeting loads the site, a synthetic is going to allow me to have a robot actually hit the site, and then it gives me like, what do I get when I do that? Do I get a like a here are the response headers? Do I get a screenshot? Like, what's my goodie bag look like after I've run a synthetic?
So for New Relic, you get a bunch of goodie bags. You get a screenshot. You also get like what you would get when you do inspect element on the website. So you get the
Mm,
entire waterfall graph of how
okay.
things load. And this actually is really important for more complex websites that might be loading different resources based on your location, based on a
Mm,
CDN. So if they use a CDN that is region based, for example, like a developer from Japan accessing your website might be getting the same file served from a different CDN or a different resource
mm-hmm.
based on their location. And you can test kind of performance issues that may come with multiple people from multiple different locations accessing your website. So
And
those
that
are some
can,
other things you can test.
yeah, and like, I'm just kind of thinking how useful that waterfall would be to see it from different places, because one of the big challenges when you're building a site is, especially as it gets more complex, you're going to be reaching for, let's say you've got your front end on a CDN and that CDN is globally hosted. You're happy. And then you reach for a service like, say, AWS Lambda, and without thinking about it, you only locate those Lambdas in US East 2. And so you're thinking my site is distributed around the world, but actually every request to your site has to get routed through US East 2. And so when you load the site from Australia, you start to feel that lag of, you know, just the speed of light traveling from Australia to the East Coast US is notable, right? And so it's like, oh wait, we forgot to like add more locations for where our backend services run to make it faster. Or if your database provider is, you know, only available on the West Coast US, you can start to find these bottlenecks that you wouldn't notice if you're building for your own speed. Because I'm here in Portland, if I put something on West Coast US, I'm not going to notice. It's going to be real snappy. I'm going to be super impressed with myself. But somebody loading that from, you know, from Asia is going to be like, why is this website so slow? You know, my CDN node is Hong Kong or whatever. Why the heck is this so dang slow? But yeah, so the synthetics give a really good indication of like, oh wait, I've got a huge lag between this request and the response from my API.
That's for sure. And the best part is like when these issues happen, you want to get in front of it as soon as possible. And with a platform like New Relic, you can basically get alerted when certain things are not what you want it to be. So you can get a Slack notification, a PagerDuty like alert, or just an email about, hey, like this is not going well, so you can go fix it before more of your customers or users notice. And that's kind of like the
Yeah.
power of setting something like this up for your large enterprise production website. is you want to make sure that things are working as much as possible to keep your uptime up. And New
Yeah.
Relic, internally, we use synthetics to drive our like internal like emergency room. So we have a synthetic like every 5 minutes or every 10 minutes testing our login flow to making sure that every one of our users from around the world is able to access our website. And if that synthetic fails for any of our locations, the team gets paid to be like, yo, login doesn't work for like these users. Like we need to fix that as soon as
Okay, so
possible.
you just said something that made me connect a dot. I had thought when you said we could use synthetics that it was a page load, but you just said
Uh-huh.
you test the login flow, so I can run like a full integration suite from anywhere in the world using synthetics.
Yes. Yeah, so you can use Selenium.
Oh,
I know that Angie is like the queen of Selenium. So you can run like insanely complex Selenium like browser tests like with synthetics. So you can test those like really complex workflows
mm-hmm.
directly like from like Dallas, Texas, or Portland, or
That
Tokyo.
that feels especially important as you start getting into things like, for example, GDPR compliance. You want to run different things in different places. And like the worst experiences when you start getting notices about legal policies that don't apply to you, right? It makes everybody just kind of, you develop banner blindness. You're like, I'm just going to dismiss this because I don't care. And instead, we want people to actually see relevant things that affect them. And
Mhm,
if you don't have a way to test that, it
mhm.
can lead to the engineers just saying like, well, I don't know, better safe than sorry, just show it to everybody. And I think
Yeah.
that's not really what we're after, right? So it also being able to use an integration test to show the flow of like, oh yes, our um, payment parity scripting actually works. And when you load from, when you load from a country with a lower like a lower income, you
Mhm.
reduce the price of your product to match the income level so that it's affordable, in or what is it, purchasing power parity is what that's called. And I love that stuff, but like it's really hard to test. So I think a lot of us just like use somebody else's script and ship it and hope for the best. But
Mhm.
being able to actually put together an integration flow and like hit the site from somewhere that has a price change, and make sure that the price actually changed, and that when you go through that checkout flow it actually works, like all of that stuff is so incredibly important and really hard to set up, if I guess if you don't have something like synthetics. um okay, so let's take this full circle here. How is this about food?
Oh yeah, so I think there's lots of famous fights that you can have with your friends, and I think one of the most divisive things you can do is start an argument about the purity or like the ultimate way to cook anything. And I know there's a famous feud on this channel about burgers and what is the actual best way to cook burgers.
Yes. Yes. There is a checkered past. The inimitable Sarah Drasner, who is one of my favorite people in the world, and also one of the like best devs I've ever met, has the unbelievably incorrect opinion that the best way to make a burger is to sous vide the burger patty. And I just can't fathom how anybody could look at a smash burger and think, you know what, I'm going to put this burger in the bath instead, and that's going to be better.
So yes, food fights. And we want to keep everyone sort of happy. So when Sarah visits the website from her location, we want to like make keep her like keep the friendship alive. So we
Yes.
want to make sure that the website like says the best way to cook burgers is sous vide burgers. But for
Hmm.
Jason, we want to also keep Jason happy. So when Jason visits the website from Portland, we want that to say smash burgers because keeping the friendship alive.
Very
So
important.
yeah,
Very
that
important.
is the theme of today's stream. How do we keep friendships together by keeping everyone happy, thinking that their way to cook whatever or their favorite burger cooking style is X.
So
So
the
yes,
the underlying message of today's show is we're going to teach you how to make sycophantic websites that suck up to whoever visits them and tells them that they're correct.
exactly. That's marketing. That should
I
be
love it.
another
All right.
soundbite too. That's marketing.
Okay, so I think at this point, maybe the best thing to do is to switch over and start seeing how all this works. So why don't we head over into our pair programming view, and I'm going to get this off screen, and we're going to make wait, where did my window go? Here it is. First and foremost, this episode, like every episode, is being live captioned. You've got a closed caption button right there on your Twitch player so that you can turn that on. And yes, I will leave now. We are going to build something. We're going to start in just a few seconds. Tess is here from Whitecoat Captioning, taking down all these words. Thank you so much for being here, Tess. And that is made possible through the support of our sponsors, Netlify, NX, Pluralsight, and especially this week, New Relic, who is putting on this whole collection of Observability Week streams. I don't know why I forgot the word for stream. And we're talking today to Daniel. So if you want to go and follow Daniel, you can do so on the Twitters. I'll drop this link in here.
Yeah, I might have slightly gotten inspired by Jason from my Twitter handle.
Learn with Daniel. I love it. All right. And we're talking about New Relic today. So we are going to get into the New Relic. Here's a link to the homepage if you want to go check that out. We'll get into the more specifics of synthetics and where the docs are and all those things as we go. But that's, I think, the extent of my knowledge on what we're doing today. So, Daniel, what should we do first?
Yeah, so I already started a base repo for us to work from. So it's under github.com/late. Oh, wait, let me drop the link so it's easier instead of me trying to stumble through a large URL.
All right, so I've got that here.
And let's just like pull that or clone that repo.
I'm going to clone down the starter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let me grab this and
Feel free to follow along, folks at home.
yeah, this should be a good time. We're using the GitHub CLI here. Then I'm going to git checkout starter. Right? Nope. What's going on? Git branch. Git fetch all. Now we can get checkout starter. Why are you please stop helping. What is that is not a helpful thing to happen when I tell you to do this thing. How do I get the starter branch if I'm what is the thing I'm doing wrong here?
I use GitHub Desktop. I'm an embarrassment. It's okay.
Well, there's a way to do this, but I'm somehow git checkout. Maybe I need to do like a git checkout origin.
You can also do
starter?
git clone -b. Like that's also what I usually do.
Well, yeah, but I'm in the wrong branch is the problem. Am I in the Oh, I'm not in the correct folder. Oh my god. My goodness, y'all. We're off to a great start. Okay, here we
Honestly,
go into food feuds.
It is the hardest part.
That's true. It's all downhill from here, everybody. Okay, so we're going to open up this project, and I'll start by installing dependencies. Thank you, Sherja, for.
Is that a monkey emoji?
Okay, and let's see. Let's start this thing up and see what we got. So I'm gonna run npm run dev, and we've got the site is at localhost 3000. So I'll copy this, come over here, and here is our site. So this is the burger brawl. We've got smash burgers versus sous vide burgers, and I think this is maybe the best website that has ever been made.
I don't know, because it's basically saying we got to figure out who the winner is, though. It's not complete, but it is the start to a great website.
It is the seed of a perfect website.
Nice. So yeah, let's just start by making like a page talking about like the actual correct answer, which is smash burgers. So I think we should just start by making a new page.
Okay. And so we'll say answer.tsx, and I'm going to copy paste some things so that we don't have to remember it all. And let's see, how does this all work? So we've got the contenders component here, and so we'll say the best burger.
Smash burger.
Okay. And then
Bob's.
if we just drop this out, that should give us a pretty, let's go take a look at what I've done. So, cool. Okay. So I'm pretty happy with that. That seems okay. What am I missing? What else should I
That
add?
was so fast. Yes, that looks beautiful.
I mean,
Yeah,
I think
and
this
then
is the magic of like component based front ends, right? Is like,
yeah.
oh, good. I can just read what this is. That's what I want. Yes, perfect. I'm done.
We also gotta add an answer for the wrong answer because I'm actually on Team Jason. I love a smash burger. So we can call the other page. I don't know what we should call it.
I'm calling
The
it wrong.
wrong.
And then
Nice.
we'll go in here. We'll swap this one out, and we'll say. All right, and then we can switch over to wrong.
You do you, I guess.
Okay.
Sorry, this like cracks me up. I can't believe I'm coding this live on a stream on a work stream. Like this is really fun. Okay.
Yeah, sometimes I do like just take a moment to think about what I do for a living, and you just gotta chuckle.
Yeah, it's really funny. So now that we have the right and wrong answers coded in record time, I think that took all of 3 minutes. We gotta now put in some middleware logic.
Okay.
Yes. A middleware logic to like redirect the request as it comes in to the correct page.
Okay.
So I think so let's start by in VS Code going and creating a new file in the root directory called middleware.ts.
Okay.
And I think this is a really good time to bring up the next documentation, which I think is fabulous. So I'm gonna drop that in the chat if you could. If you go into Next-server. Yep.
You went straight to the server. Is it this one?
Yep. Yeah, that one.
Okay.
And then here, so we're going to be using Next-server to basically like help us with middleware. So we can actually get metadata about the requests coming in and basically use the Next-server to redirect all of the traffic coming in to the right page.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to be importing the type next request from next server as well as next response. So
Oh, Daniel, I'm going to interrupt you real quick because Moman885 just said, we want other options different than burgers if this is about food. And I think that is brilliant. So, chat, here's your challenge. Let us know in the chat what the best food feuds are. So, like New York versus Chicago style pizza, and include where they're from, because if we have time, we can add more locations and more like answers and options for things. So we could say, like, if you load the page from, if you load this site from New York or Chicago, we can show pizza instead of burgers, for example. So drop those into the chat, and if we've got time, we'll come back and do some. All right, sorry, Daniel, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So basically what we want to do, like in our code, so I just wanted to drop this in the link to show people everything you can do with Next server. So in the middleware, we're going to import the type next request from next/server.
Okay.
as well as import next response from next server.
As not a type, right?
Oh, that is not a type.
Okay, so we're gonna get import.
And I love that next just like abstracts this out for you, so you don't have to do anything. Like, oh, that is just beautiful. And then we want to export a function called middleware. And then the input would be the request. So we have to do req. And then we do the little colon and then next request.
Okay. And is that the only argument?
Yeah, because
Okay.
that's all we're basically looking at the request coming into the website and then figuring out where to direct it after that.
Got it. Got it. Got it.
And then let's say like if let's make an if statement to be like to make it easier. I don't know, what country do you think would prefer sous vide burgers over like smash burgers?
Let's say France because they invented the. Wait, did France invent sous vide? I think that came out of France. You know what? I'm sticking to my guns. France invented sous vide.
Let's do first.
You heard it here first.
Oh my god, I'm kind of afraid of like pissing off people, but I'm also like living on the edge, you know? Like I like it. Okay. So okay. So we can say like let's see. If like the if the rec dot geo dot country equals
Oops.
fr.
Like it's a country code,
Yeah.
right? Capital FR.
Yes. Yep, exactly. Then rec dot next capital URL dot path name equals wrong.
Like that, right?
Yeah, and then else we can do rec next URL path name equals what was the URL
Answer.
name? I forgot. Answer. Yes.
Okay.
And then
now
all we have to do. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
So how does this work? Because the middleware, if I remember correctly how Next middleware works, because we put this in the root, it's going to run on every request, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so if I'm reading this code correctly, somebody from France would never be able to get to the homepage. They would automatically see the sous vide. And somebody from anywhere else would automatically see smash burgers the way this code is written right now. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Do we want to test that first or do we want to?
Oh, yeah, but we can't test that right now because we have to return something in this function.
Got it. Okay.
So let's do return next response dot rewrite. And then parentheses like rec dot next URL. So right now what it should do is it should redirect directly to the sous vide page, or the wrong page or the answer page, depending on where you're from. Hopefully it does that. That'd be great.
Okay, let's see. It didn't like some. Oh no, that's fine. That's because we didn't set a key prop. Middleware is running. Did something fail? Unexpected token. Ooh, interesting. Unexpected token in React.
I forgot.
Oh, we're
No.
redirecting everything. Like this is catching the JavaScript files and all the assets as well. So we're returning.
Yes.
Okay. So
I forgot to do something. So we forgot to export like the URL matcher, because if we don't export that variable, it will redirect everything. I knew I was missing something. We have to limit what we redirect. So we want to what we want to do is we want to export the constant called config
from middleware.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we want to do matcher colon. And then we want to do like a quote marks and then just that, like the slash, because we basically want to redirect every request to like the main page into like answer or wrong. So hopefully that works.
Okay, there we go. There we go.
Oh, live coding, gets my blood pumping.
All right.
Okay, but we want it to be a little more dramatic because we want people to go to the homepage and then like click a button to like find out the right answer. So let's now code that. So in the
Okay.
main page, let's add a button that says find out the right answer or find out the answer. I don't know what the right phrasing would be, but I think
Okay.
having a button would be really cool.
And it looks like we've got a component for that, which is wonderful. So we can go
I don't know
here.
how that could have happened.
It's almost like we planned this. Let's go to the big link here. And then we want the href, and that href is going to be, what do we do here? Like, where do we link to?
Yeah, so the best part is that you can make any URL because basically we can have the middleware redirect the URL you create here to some other thing. But for the sake of this, we can just make it, let's just have the default be go to answer.
Okay.
And then in the middleware, we can say if it's from France,
France?
it will, France, sorry, I
From
like to say
France?
If it's from France, it will go to the wrong.
Okay. So now we have a button, but we can't see it just yet. So we need to, I just change this to answer and now it'll work?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Look at that. Okay. Moment of truth.
Okay. Please work. Yes.
Whacked my ceiling. Okay. So we did the thing. Okay, so I think we did the thing because I don't know how to test this because I'm not in France.
Oh, like honestly, I would love to get a work trip expense to go to France just to test this website. Be like, hey boss, I just need to go to France so I can like test this website. That'd be a great way, I would love to be a software engineer when synthetics didn't exist. Like that'd be so fabulous. But I guess we can't do that.
We just got such a better button text from the chat.
Discover the
truth. I love it.
So yeah, so now let's just test the button as if we were in France. Are you down?
I'm down.
Okay, let's do it. So what you can do is you can go to a new Relic. And the best part is there's no coding required for this.
Okay.
I mean, you can have coding, but like, I prefer not to code if I don't have to. So all we have to do is go into maybe not upgrade yet.
Wait,
this is called marketing, folks.
Help me.
There's an X on the top.
Oh, there it is.
You have to go to synthetics. It's in the very bottom with the little robot. Perfect.
I like this little robot. Let's just zoom in on that robot for a minute. It's a good robot.
And then create your first monitor. There's that big white button. And then today we're going to be doing something really basic. But you can go as complex as you want. Like I said before, like you can create very long Selenium tests to test your very complex environment. Today we have a button that we have to click to show a page. Like we're not dealing with rocket science here. So we're going to do a user step execution, the zero code monitor building on the bottom right.
Okay.
And we have to create a name. What should be the name?
It's the food feud. So we want okay, so here's actually a question. Am I setting up like one named synthetic for each task, or am I creating like a group of synthetics and I can add sub checks underneath this?
So it's about like how you want to set it up. It's very flexible. I'm really lazy. So like what I like to do is like I know what checks I like set that are supposed to fail. Like for example, France should fail. If we assert that the answer should always be, sous vide burgers. Mm-hmm. So you could go that way if you have a very small environment. But if you have a larger environment, I would suggest you have like a different synthetic for every single different like scenario you expect. So for
Okay.
example, you should have a separate scenario, a separate synthetic for France. So it can always validate that for users in France, it will always show that, the best burger is sous vide burgers, and have another synthetic for a bunch of other locations that are not France, where the expected behavior is smash burgers.
Gotcha. Okay. So this would be like we can do like the FR so that I know that it's that we're checking France.
Exactly. And
Okay.
then if you could change the period to like 1 minute, that'd be great.
Yeah, just so that we get more of these. Um and then do I need to care about any of these?
Nope.
Okay. Select locations. That feels like a good button.
Yeah.
France.
And we do have France.
Dope. Okay.
And
Estimated
then,
monthly checks. This is going to yell at me because it's going to go over my limit.
but it's fine. We are going to disable it after the stream. We're just going to set it at 1 minute because,
I don't know if it's going to let
um,
me.
oh shoot. Okay, maybe we have to go back and then change the period to be 5 minutes, hopefully,
Let's see.
or
Yeah, you're going to let
15
me.
minutes.
It has to be 500. So let's see. Check scheduled this month, 500. So that's what, 30 days where we need, I guess, 500 divided by 30 days. So that's not, wait, is that,
Let's try.
what am I doing?
Wait, sorry, go ahead.
That math is absolute nonsense. We get 16 checks a day. So that means we can't even do, how can I, is there a way to say like only run this for a little bit?
No. So that this is also, I should probably file that as a feature request. Let's say 6 hours and see if it works.
Yeah, it'll give us
Oh,
6 hours.
I think it'll run once, hopefully.
Yeah, it should hopefully run once. I guess we'll find out when the thing is happening. So we need to navigate to,
Uh-huh.
oh, do I need to deploy this?
Oh yeah, that would be helpful because
Okay.
you really can't just like sneak up in your browser and then monitor your localhost, sadly.
Okay. So you're gonna have to walk me through this part because I think you're gonna have me deploy somewhere that I don't deploy.
Oh yeah, I mean, I use Vercel, so I use the Vercel CLI. So you just it's sorry, my dog is going crazy. Uh, yeah, just hit Vercel off or Vercel login. If you just hit Vercel, it'll probably pop up if you don't have it
Okay.
logged in.
I think I have an account. CLI login failed. No Vercel account. Okay, so
Oh,
maybe
you
I
might have
need
to make
to.
a Vercel.
Okay. So we're gonna do that real quick. What is that? Wait, I do have an account.
Oh, that's really weird.
How do I? Okay. My
Do you want to try
username.
one more time, maybe?
What am I hooked to? Like, can I hook up to a login connections? GitHub.
Ah,
Now I'm hooked up to GitHub. Okay, great. So I'm gonna close this, go back here, try this one more time. Nope. What is happening? Continue with GitHub. Should be logged in. CLI login success. Okay. So I'm in.
yes.
And now what?
So now all we have to do is hit Vercel. That's like the command to deploy stuff.
Do I have to commit this somewhere?
Um,
Because
I
like
don't think you
I
have
haven't
to.
forked this repo or anything.
I don't think you have to. I think you just have to click yes. And just click no.
No. Okay. Here we go. Do I want to modify these settings? I'm assuming no.
No. Yeah.
And this, I assume, is my... Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's currently building. It'll take like a couple seconds, I think, to deploy.
Okay, so we can kind of watch this happen. It's doing stuff.
It's always like kind of scary to see it deploy. Hopefully everything works. Okay, we have a
Okay, so that worked. And now if I click
website.
this button, it shows me that one, which is not surprising. That's what it should have done. So we can come back here, put this one in, right? And then
Yep.
I need to click element
Uh-huh.
by ID, CSS, or XPath. Okay. So we need to get back in here and check what is this
CSS
button
ID
called? I should probably add, should we add like a, because I feel like this is going to change every time. I guess it's the
Something
only...
that you can do that works for me is have the text of the button and just put it in to discover the truth.
Okay, so I can just put in
Yeah.
text?
Yeah. I tried that yesterday and it worked. So
Nice.
don't add the quotation marks, just discover the truth, like straight up. And then we can always validate it by clicking validate. So we can always validate each step of the building.
Okay. And so what we could also do if this text doesn't work is we could add like a data attribute to the button, which doesn't affect the behavior. It doesn't have to be tied to the CSS. It can just be like,
Yep.
this is a testing hook. That's a pretty common path that I've seen, which would let us do this without having to, like, add an ID or something that's maybe not necessarily what we want to do.
For sure.
Okay, so
Hopefully this works.
hopefully this works. And then the other piece that we need to do is we need to check we're asserting something, right?
Yeah, so we have to assert that the title is. Oh, I guess you can't test it while it's validating. Oh shoot. Wow, that is taking a long time. Yeah,
Oh,
that's the
that's
code
cool.
that powers it.
This is cool. Just kind of like does the whole thing.
Yeah, because we don't want people to like. I feel like it worked. Okay, cool.
It worked. Oh, and look, it showed us the right thing.
Yep.
Okay, that's great. So we're looking
So now let's just
for,
assert. Yeah.
we want to assert text,
Uh-huh.
and we want to, let's see, that's an H1, right? The header
Yep.
is the H1. So we're going to get the H1 and assert that the text contains sous vide.
Wait, can we just double check that the header is H1? I just want to like double.
Yeah, this is.
Oh, perfect. Yep.
Yeah, that's what we're doing here is sous vide, and then I want to make sure that I got my. Okay, I don't know if case matters, but let's make sure it works. Okay, so that should do it, right? This should validate true.
Yes, that should for France. So let's just click save.
Saving.
Sorry, I'm looking down because like the it's like kind of small on my screen. I kind of look funky on the camera.
All good. All good. Okay. So does it show when one is running so that we can make sure it's doing the thing?
Um, I don't think it shows when it's running, but it like I think it should run for the first time like when you create it.
Okay.
Uh, so I think we might have to wait for a little bit. Wait, let me
Okay.
see if chat knows because I think there's some New Relic people in here. Oh, it says you can trigger the check manually.
And I do
Trigger.
that. Monitor results, resources failures. Where is my check? See full map. Go back here maybe.
I think we might have to. Oh, shoot.
And so while we're doing that, I'm going to look back through. Moment is saying from the Middle East, some Egyptian food. What's the? Is there like a like I know in like between Nigeria and is it Ghana where there's like a big feud over jollof rice, right? Like, is there an equivalent of that in the Middle East where like, you know, Egyptians make a dish and then like another country makes the same dish, but like Egyptians will go to war over how good they are at making that thing. Like, oh yeah, we make the best, whatever it is. What else? Let's see. So I think we could do the pizza thing. That would be kind of fun.
Yeah, like Chicago versus New York.
Mm-hmm. So that one I know we can do pretty fast because I'm almost positive we can find like Chicago pizza here. Yep. Look at that casserole. Okay.
Not the casserole. Oh my gosh.
Let's see. This is gonna work. So we'll get this. I'm gonna open it in a new tab, and then let's do New York. Let's see. That looks like a New York slice. We'll do that. Is that a New York slice? That's good. Yeah, it's good enough. Somebody from New York is gonna fight me. I'll open that one in a new tab, and then because we
Wait, which team are you on though?
my controversial opinion. Well, actually, it's not even controversial. It's just backed by data. Is that Portland is the best pizza city in the world? I'm just what the comments are heating up right now. But there's a whole article on this. Watch. Portland best pizza. Oh, look, here it is. Look at this article. The best pizza city in America is Portland, Oregon.
Okay, honestly, the Portland pizza that I've had has been fabulous. Like, because I feel like it's a good in between New York and Chicago because like they don't make this. The city doesn't make its entire personality based on pizza.
That's true. It just makes good pizza.
Exactly.
And the thing that I like about Portland is that people from all over have moved to Portland and then made excellent pizza here. So like a couple folks from Detroit moved to Portland, made really good Detroit style pizza. A couple people from Chicago moved to Portland, make good Chicago style. We got good New York style. We got whatever Lovely's 50/50 is, which is like Portland style with edible flowers and very, you know, whatever you want to call that. And then we've got, you know, like the Ken Forkish and you know a few other like Demos of pizza Shoals, like really really good varietals of pizza, and all of them are high caliber, which is why Portland is the best pizza city. Come at me, chat.
Okay, I'm headed to Portland today, so I will. Do you have any recommendations on the best?
Are you legitimately
pizza place
headed to
in
Portland today?
Yeah, like right after the stream, I have a flight at 1.
Oh, all right. I will send you a list.
Okay.
Actually,
That'd be awesome.
I have a whole look. I built this website. It's called snack.tips, and it's just a bunch of food in Portland. It's like a huge list of
I
places
love that
to
you
go.
bought this domain. Like,
Of course I bought this domain. I would be a
think it's like
fool not to buy this domain.
It's called domain-driven development, I think.
That
That's
is
the
absolutely true. All right, so let me go back in here and let's take a look. I don't know how to.
Okay. Can you okay, I think I got some tips from a relic. Do you see run check right there on top?
Run check on top.
No, no, no. Like go down to the right.
Oh, here,
It's a
run
button.
check.
Yeah. Let's try if that works.
So here it does show a check, 0 failures, 1 checks.
Oh, it worked. Yeah, let's just go to
Did
results.
work.
You have to go to results.
Oh, results. Here we go.
And then you have to click the little table.
Success. And look at it. Here we go. So here is our waterfall. And we can see 182 kilobytes, 318 milliseconds, and then let's see, we've got a script log. That's also cool.
Oh, it should show you a screenshot. We might have to rerun it. There's some quirks with the platform.
This is cool too. Like it shows those bits.
Yeah. Even though we're using this synthetics for like a fun purpose today, it's really useful when you're trying to build a website that's accessed from like people from all over the world. So you don't have to like manually test everything. And you can get alerted when certain things go wrong. So like you can go fix the issue before hopefully a lot of your customers start complaining on Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, anything that can tell you that something's happening before your customers do is good, because like the worst way to find out that something is wrong is to have somebody like email you and be like, hey, your thing is broken. Let's see. So we got another one. Do we need to tell it to grab the screenshot?
No, it should do it automatically. So for some reason it's not grabbing it. Okay, that's really weird. But if the check is successful, that means that the header was there and people from France are able to see that sous vide burgers are the superior burger, which is not true. So now that because we don't boil burgers. I didn't know that boiled burgers were a thing, but apparently that's a thing.
Who wants to put? I don't know. I've never understood the appeal of the meat bath.
Oh, the thought of a meat bath like is creeping me out. But okay. Now that we have a couple more minutes, like, do you want to start building the pizza or the Egyptian food or whatever chat wants us to build? Like, what is a good food that we should like focus on?
I did not see anything. I think maybe Moment dropped because I didn't hear anything back about the Egyptian food. So let's do pizza because that is one that I understand. And so I'm going to create a new file called pizza, and I'll just copy my index. And this one is going to say, let's see, pizza. What's a good P word? Pizza punch out? That seems.
Punch out? Pizza punch out? Oh, I like it. It's slightly aggressive, but okay.
It is very aggressive. Chat, maybe give us a better one. And I'm going to think of, let's see. I shouldn't have put myself on the spot to be clever. This is not going to work out. I'm going to fill out these while I think. We've got New York style and Chicago.
Do you want to do New York style? And then I think someone in the chat said Naples for Italy, like Neapolitan pizza.
Yeah. So that we can do the country based, you mean?
Or we can do city based. I think we haven't done.
Can we do city based? Because
yes,
I think city based would be fun to show.
Yes.
By the slice, thin, crispy, delicious.
Wait, you're a New York style fan?
I mean, I like all pizza. I'm really an equal opportunity pizza consumption engine
Even
over here.
Casseroles?
What's that?
Even casseroles?
Oh yeah, I love. I mean, like I'll talk a whole bunch of crap on Chicago style pizza, and then I will absolutely eat one. No,
I love a Detroit style pizza. I was in Detroit last year, And I really
Yeah.
like Detroit style pizza.
Detroit style pizza is killer. So I have yet to be to Detroit, so I look forward to the day that I get to have the real deal. But I've been to Detroit style pizza places in a few different cities, and I love the style. There's a good spot up here if you want to get a good Detroit style pizza. It's called East Gleason Pizza.
Oh, you're the expert on pizza. I love it.
Okay, so Chicago style pizza, deep dish, loaded with flavor for cheese fans. How about that? Yes, good enough. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to I think I can just hot link some of these. Let's make it square. Now I got to remember how imgx works. So we're going to go to No, I just want you to go down here is all. Let's make it 500 and height is going to be 500 and then we want like crop to be entropy, I think should give us a good one.
Wait, what are you doing right now?
Perfect.
Just like
So
so
this
for
is
my
this is
Uh-huh.
imgx. So
Uh-huh.
Unsplash uses imgx under the hood, and you have these options to do different types of crops and stuff. So you can, like, if it's a picture of faces, you can focus on the faces and all that. And so if you want a specific size of image, you can take the image and apply some different filters. So what I did at the end here is I just changed the width and height to 500 so it's the right size, and then set crop to entropy because entropy is like the most visually interesting piece of the image. And now I don't have to like drop in a giant image and hope for the best. I can just drop this right in here and that's going to work. And then for the New York style, we can do the same thing. And I'm actually just going to copy paste this to avoid making everybody watch me type that twice. So we'll go into here. Nope.
Learning
Here.
something new. I love it.
And then down at this side, just grab everything from the width, paste. And if this one, actually the entropy might screw us because this is going to be pretty visually interesting. So let's see. Yep. And so what we'll do instead is we will use bottom. There we go. Okay. So now.
Oh, that's good. Oh, that was really yummy, actually.
I mean, I love a good pizza by the slice, and it's such a deceptively hard thing to make because it always, it feels like people try to make pizza by the slice and then it's a real disappointment. You can't go wrong with pizza, but which style reigns supreme? Get it? Supreme. Okay, so then we're going to go in here to our site, which is not running anymore. So we'll npm run dev. And now we want to go to pizza. Okay, so
how did you create the image like in the logo up top? It looks really nice. Is it
so
a
these
GIF?
are little drawings that I do sometimes to keep myself from just like doom scrolling on Twitter. I pick up my iPad and play in Procreate, and then I used a GIF creator to do two versions, like rotating back and forth.
Oh, wow. That's really smart. Okay.
I was like, I
I'm
should
just
do this
picking
with
up all the tips.
SVG, and then I realized I was like, I'm not spending that much time on this.
Nice.
Okay, so. Oh, my alt tags. Yes, my alt tags are incorrect. So let's see, a slice of NY style pepperoni pizza, a deep dish pizza with a cheesy slice being lifted out of the pan. Okay, so now we've got alt text that's actually useful.
Yeah, I think someone asked, what are we building? We're building a website that tells you, depending on where you are visiting the website from, what is the best type of pizza. So folks visiting from New York will get New York style pizza, and Chicago people will get Chicago style pizza.
Yeah, so we're in the midst of adding the pizza version, but what we've done so far is this burger version, where if you load from anywhere in the world except France, you'll see the smash burger page. And if you load from France, which
You
we
mean
picked kind of
France?
arbitrarily because sous vide is, I believe, a French word. If you go from France, you'll see the sous vide page. And now we're working on doing the same thing, but for pizza. And we're going to set up by city. So we want to look at New York and Chicago as the cities that we want to show. So we need our answer page, which we can get out of here. I'm going to grab this one and duplicate it. We'll say, and for this one, what I'm going to do is actually just do like an answer.ny and an answer.shy. And then we can head over to the pizza page, grab New York style out of here, go to New York. Okay, watch me alienate all of my New Yorker chat members. They all just logged off like right now. Then we'll do the same thing for Chicago style. And now Chicago's logged off. Okay, so what we need to do then is update the middleware, right? So maybe walk me through how we want to do this, because here's how I want this to work, like what I'm envisioning in my head. Everybody who's not in New York and not in Chicago should still see the burger page. But if you're in New York or Chicago, I want to show the pizza page. So the home page should shift for New York and Chicago to show the pizza page. And then if you're in New York or Chicago, when you click the discover the truth, I want to show either the New York page or the Chicago page based on which one you're in.
Wait, I need you to repeat that so I can like write it down so you to figure out what we're gonna do. Okay.
So if the city is Chicago or New York, show the pizza homepage instead. Else show the default homepage. Then, if city is Chicago, show Chicago answer page. Else, if city is New York, show NY answer. Right. So basically, like, if we would need like a block that's like if. So if we do like if rec.geo.city, and I don't know, does this just like, do we just get this? Do you know how this works?
Oh, I have no idea, which makes it really fun because I think we can just log it out. So I think we can just use Logger because I've never used City, but I'm very excited to try. So
okay. So here's what I want is to do this check, right? And then if we're here, then we would set. If I want my matcher to have like multiple matches, can I do like one of these? And then we'd need to like if this and
so
we need to check
so you can do conditionals. So you can do in the so you have to add the matcher multiple all the routes you want to change into matcher. But what you can do under do you see rewrite right there, like in the very bottom, return rewrite? You can actually
Hmm.
insert custom logic there. So instead of doing rec, so we will have to now have multiple return statements for everything we want to return. So inside of that if statement, we will have to add a return state. So we have to copy and paste that in there, and then basically return next response rewrite, and then instead of rec.next URL, we have to write new, and then capital URL, and then parentheses, and then you want to take the URL that you want to transform, comma request.url.
Okay, so um,
Does that kind of make sense what I'm trying to
it
say?
it makes sense, and then I'm just melting my brain right now because we have to. Let's see how we doing on time. We're doing great on time. So we need to kind of check like if looking at the home page,
Uh-huh.
and we'll just make sure that that doesn't fail
How about
right
this?
now.
If it's in the US, it goes to pizza, and for everywhere else, it goes to burgers. We could do that.
Well, I think we yeah we can. So we can do that, but we would miss the Chicago New York check. But so I think what we need, like we need two pieces. We need to check if they're looking at the home page, we have one set of redirects. And
Uh-huh.
then if we have if we're looking at the answer page, we need a second set of redirects. And so this is actually if looking at the answer page. So we would need to check like if the geo country is France, and then it would be like else if rec geo
We
city.
actually can't keep this keep the line 11 and 13 because uh because we have multiple URLs that we're trying to transform, right? It's not just like one thing we're trying to change it to two things. It's like like we want to change the base as well as the answer. We actually have to put instead of doing the rec.next URL.path name, we need to just return the next response rewrite with the URL we want to transform it to. Does that make sense?
Okay, so we need to
Yeah.
return next response dot
Uh-huh. Rewrite.
rewrite,
Uh-huh.
and then
And then
it was
do
new
new.
response,
No, it's new URL.
new URL.
It's a URL object. And then you have to open the parentheses, and then the first part of the thing is like the URL you want to redirect. So it would be that, comma, and then it would be the request.url or rec.url.
Oh, I see. So it's so that we get like the base path. Um,
Exactly.
okay, got you. And then we'll take this one and we'll do the same thing here for answer. So we can get rid of this and get rid of this.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Exactly.
And if the GeoCity is Chicago, we would want, I'm just going to duplicate this a couple times. So
I
this
think I
one,
need a state machine for this. Oh my gosh.
oh my God, what have I done? Oh, I did a thing that I shouldn't have done. Okay, so we're going to take this, copy paste. That's going to be New York, and that's going to be our else statement. So yeah, a state machine would be nice
This
right
is
now.
machine learning, right? A bunch of if else statements.
Exactly. This is our nobody knew that this was how today was going to go, but Daniel and I just started an AI company today. Okay.
Yeah, I was joking about it with my friends because everything now says that it comes with AI. Like I was looking for air fryers online, and everyone's like AI air fryers or AI rice cookers, and I'm like, wow.
Uh, so the
Wait, what are you
rec.
trying to do right here with the large if
This is
statement?
me checking that we're trying to go to the answer page.
Oh no, we don't have to do that because the ans do you see that new URL? Like the first
Mm-hmm.
part of that statement, that's the quotation mark, is the
Mm-hmm.
URL you're trying to redirect. So you don't need to check like
this is the URL that we need to redirect?
Yes.
Because that's not going to match then. Because if so like if I want to change when we visit the index page, if it's New York or Chicago, we want to show them pizza.
Oh, sorry. I like just had a brain fart. Yes, you're right. Yeah.
And so this one we need to check if they're on. Is it path name? What am I
Yeah. So
missing?
it's you request dot next URL dot path name,
Next URL
and then
dot path name,
yeah,
and
and
that would
then
be this, right?
yes.
Okay. And so then the next piece would be to take this, or no, this would be answer. And then we're going to take this whole thing and try again.
Wait, should we just test this part first before we do that?
We can test anything you want. And then this would be, I'm just going to delete like, because this is what the code should be. Like, I don't know if my exact setup here is correct, but this is like the logic that we're after. Why are you mad? Or. Right? And so this would be pizza and this would be root. So this is like at least pseudo logic. This is what we're after.
It looks correct, so I'm excited to try it.
Okay, so let's give this a shot and see what we can get here. I'm going to attempt to load the home page, and that is doing what I want. Now I'm going to just try for the sake of okay, let's log this. Console log rec.geo. Don't you tell me you can't do stuff. Oh, I'm outside the...
Yeah, you have to put it in the
tracks.
middleware function.
Okay, fine, computer. You're right this time. Where's my geo? Does it show up in the browser?
I think so.
I think I may have missed. I may have screwed this up.
You want to just do rec.geo.city because I think it's like a JSON payload.
It's coming back empty, undefined. Okay, so that's probably because we're local, right?
Oh, yeah, that's coming. Yeah, I think we have to deploy it on Vercel. Let's try that.
Okay, so let's
And it
deploy
should
it
be in
and
the
let's see
Vercel
what
log.
happens. Oh, let me turn off the Portland part. We'll go to Chicago and then we'll let our synthetics do the work for us. Okay, so I'm just going to type Vercel. And we're doing it. We're going. It's happening. There we go. All right. So then if I come back out here, okay, I think that part is working at least. So let's go build our synthetic and try it out. And
Yes,
I do
let's do
this synthetic monitoring. And
Yeah,
I
you
don't
have
build it
to just
inside. I
build
do
it.
a new one, right?
Yeah, you build a new one.
Okay. So this one's going to be, we'll do the same thing here. We'll call it food, feud, pizza. And then I set it to 6 hours again. So it'll let us 12 hours, 1 day.
Wait, still won't let you?
Oh, I know what it is. It's because we haven't set a location yet. So select the location. And this time we're going to set, oh crap, how do I?
Chicago. Oh, there's no Chicago. Oh,
There's no Chicago or New
we
York.
might have to change the code so it's Portland and
Okay. Let's change the code to Portland and San Francisco. So Portland San Francisco. And we're going to do the same thing for this one and this one.
I really hope this works.
I really hope this works too. I'm very excited to try it. So let's deploy one more time. Oh, come on. And then while we're waiting, so Portland and San Francisco, right? I can do them both.
Perfect. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So we're going to define the steps. We're going to navigate to our website. All right. And then we're going to click an element, and that's going to be discover the truth. And then we're going to assert text. Can I do, how do I like, can I do conditional?
Not with this view, because this is like the no code. So you can't do conditional, but basically we can just expect one to succeed and one to fail.
Okay, so
Because
we're
it'll still
going
show us what it
to
will say.
locate the H1 and make sure that it contains, what did I say? Chicago style. All right. And I think Portland will get Chicago style and San Francisco will get New York style is I think the way that we replace that. So if should I validate or save?
We can validate. No, let's just save. Let's just save. I think I trust us.
Okay. I trust us too, Daniel. All right, let's see how this thing's going. We got waiting on checks to run. And
I think you should run in a, yeah.
Well, and this is also deployed now, so I'm seeing pizza. Okay, now let's try again. Let's see what happens. And hey!
Oh, shoot, it worked!
First try. Okay.
Wow.
So
that never happens live stream. Like, that is impressive. Wow. Wow. I am impressed.
I can't believe that worked. Okay. So this is wonderful. And then if anybody wants to try this to validate, hit this up. If you're not in Portland or San Francisco, you should be able to try this and still see the burgers. So give it a shot.
Wait, so in San Francisco, what should I see?
You should be seeing, if you discover the truth, you should be seeing pizza, and then it should show you New York style when you click the truth.
It does. It does.
What? Look at us. We are the best programmers on the planet.
Honestly, yeah. Wait. Let me like I will show my screen. Wait. Look.
Unbelievable. Look at us go, everybody. This is brilliant. I'm so happy that worked on the first try.
That never happens, Jason. Like, how? Wow, Jason, you're like next level.
Okay, so we have, let's see. Come on, are you done? You're done? Oh, we got a failure. Okay, good. That's what we wanted. So now we'll go to our results. And we've got a failure. And the Portland check.
Yeah, I got burgers. Hey. Yes.
Wait.
Let's go.
This one should have worked.
Wait.
This one's Portland, right?
Yeah.
Right? And we loaded from Portland. So that should have.
Maybe it ran before it like deployed. Or when did it run?
Maybe. Let's try again.
Because you're trying it from Portland, right? And it showed the right thing.
One of two locations failing.
Okay. I got excited before it loaded.
I know this is good. We're still one of two locations failing. So does it like round robin these where it tries each one?
Hopefully it works.
Okay, so here's our second one.
Oh, it still failed. Oh,
it
that's
still
really
failed.
weird.
So okay, so here's what I don't know. Do we get? Let's see. We're gonna have to look at the Vercel logs. Assuming I can figure out how this works. Let's go to Vercel.com. And we've got this site here and then logs.
Yeah, view build function logs, I think.
It's
Oh, it's
middleware.
real time.
It's real time. Okay, so let me try it. And I've hit it. Anything? Hello?
Can you try like revisiting the site like from like not instead of reloading it, maybe like there's some caching going on.
Perhaps, perhaps. Okay, so let me close this, open a new window, try again, and show me some logs. Errors.
No logs.
Anything?
Oh wait, did we do console log so it only shows up in the console, or is it?
Well, I did. I mean, I console logged from the middleware, which should show up in the logs to the best of. I mean, I don't know how Vercel does this.
Oh, me
So,
neither. I deploy my portfolio like to you.
hmm.
Functions maybe should we
Like,
exit out middleware? I can let me try it again. Where I'm like reloading the website. Oh wow.
okay, so it's like mostly working. Check logs in synthetics. Do we get logs in synthetics? Script
Yeah,
log,
there's
browser
a script
log,
log.
unexpected token. Oh, but that's like Vercel's junk.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Is it because. Wait, why would Vercel be. Why would you put that into my production site? Don't do that.
What is next live feedback? Wow, that's really weird.
Isn't that their like their commenting overlay thing?
Yeah, I think so.
So why is that in my production site?
Yeah, that is concerning. Wait, what is the URL that we're testing?
Isn't this
Because
my. Wait, which one is which?
I think the top one is what you're supposed to share out.
Always
Oh
up to
wait,
date view
maybe.
of this branch,
Uh-huh.
unique view of this deployment. But what I want is my actual URL project, deployment, domains. Oh, maybe I need this one. Okay, let's try this one more time. Oh, see, wait, this one didn't work. Okay, maybe now we get logs. Why does that only work? Like that works in one version, but not the other? Do I have to promote something to hello? Food feuds, deployments. This is the one.
From 8 minutes ago, yeah.
Yo, do the. Oh,
It's not
okay.
automatic.
Apparently not. Okay, so let's try this one more time.
My dog is just joining the stream.
Oh, that's good. Okay, so unfortunately we ran out of time, and I'm gonna blame this one on Vercel not really making sense. Oh, now it's working. Okay, so we're gonna have to check those synthetics later, but that was a Vercel problem, not a New Relic problem. And with that, I think we're gonna call that a success. So Daniel, thank you so much for taking some time with us today. This was a ton of fun. I had a lot of good laughs on this stream, and I hope chat you enjoyed this as well. So Daniel, if people want to learn more about this, where should they go next?
Yeah, so if you want to learn more about synthetics, you should check out the docs link that I am dropping right now into the chat. Um, and if you want to learn more about Next.js and all the goodies you can do, check out the Next.js documentation, especially the server documentation. I think you can do a lot of cool personalization stuff. And hopefully, maintain your friendships. Don't like let food divide friendships. I think that's the lesson I want to impart on everyone before I leave. Uh, I can't really I don't know. Me, all of my friends and I that like hang out a lot. We have similar taste in food, so I think food is a big part of my friendship. So, but don't
Yes,
let it divide you.
I have definitely noticed that I become better friends with people who eat I'm not saying I won't be friends with a picky eater, but I definitely hang out with people who aren't, if that makes sense.
Exactly.
All right, y'all. This was super fun. Thank you so much for hanging out today. I am going to do one more shout out. We've had Tess from White Coat Captaining here all day. Thank you so much for being here. That is made possible through the support of our sponsors, Netlify, NX, and New Relic. And we've had, and Pluralsight. Why did I stop talking? And this has been Observability Week. So these last 3 episodes, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday this week, have all been about observability. Thank you to New Relic for making that possible. And then Daniel, you're coming back in about a month, and we're going to do one more of these, right?
Yeah, and hopefully we can do more fun themed, stream. So I'm super excited for that.
We will come back and cause more chaos. Thank you all so much for hanging out today. We will see you next time.
Sounds good. Bye.